jumped up.
Yeah, Willie said I had to be here, so I dropped everything I
Drop everything, come quick.
had to do a Willie.
No, I don't be up here long. I ain't Chris Powell. I ain't give you no dissertation. I'm gonna open up.
We want to know the last 5 matchups.
You want to hear that from me?
Yeah, we want to know, the
All right, well, you want to come do it?
Listen, I ain't gonna be, I'm gonna get myself talking.
I'm gonna open up and pass the buck within about 45 seconds.
We want to hear
Where
about
Brianna? Oh, there she goes. I'm waiting on you. I'm patient.
who's going to be at the game. Yeah.
Jim Clymer ain't gonna be there. That's all that matters.
Who's he coming?
No, I won't need you this time.
Who's you want to know?
I didn't realize that was his first time performing with the band. I didn't realize that. I really thought he did before. Probably that night. All right, y'all ready? Y'all mics good?
Tell me when you ready.
I ain't ready. Hey, put that down, man. All right, good afternoon. Welcome to today's press conference for the 2024 SWAC Championship game, Saturday in Jackson, Mississippi, against Southern University and Jackson State Tigers. Southern University going to the game with a 7-1 SWAC record. Jackson State is 8-1 SWAC. This is the 4th time in the SWAC Championship game in existence that the Jaguars have faced the Tigers, where the Jaguars hold a 2-1 lead over in the series in the SWAC Championship game. Without further ado, our head coach, Terrence Graves.
Mr. Bayou Classic.
Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? So, a recap from last week. Great 51st annual Bayou Classic victory. Guys played well. We're glad to come out with it. It was a great event. Great time. See those seniors win their last Bayou Classic as a player. So now we turn the page. We're headed to the SWAC Championship game this week in Jackson versus Jackson State University. Of course, we played them once before, and we're looking forward to the opportunity to compete for a championship this week.
Coach, before we ask you about the game, what did you think of the All-SWAC team, Southern getting only one player on it as West Division champ?
Disappointed. Been in the conference a long time, and unfortunately, this is not the first time that that's happened. And it's disappointing. I think it's disappointing to the student athletes who've worked extremely hard to during the course of the season and to not be recognized at only one position. I think that it's just disappointing. And I told the players, I said, hey, what you got to do is you just got to go out and play. In life, sometimes life is not always fair. So you gotta go past it and deal with it and move on. I would like to think that, and I know for a fact that we have guys on this team that were worthy, if not first team, second team honors. But it is what it is. Can't dwell on it. We're gonna move on. We're gonna turn the page and move on.
After you played Jackson State and you've looked at video of their games since then, how much better of a team are they? What impresses you about how different they are now?
Do a good job of running the football, the confidence level. Those guys are playing with confidence on both sides of the ball, well, all 3 phases of the game. So the last game against Alcorn, they played really well on the road. And so, they're doing a good job of, Coach Taylor and his staff are doing a good job with those guys, keeping them locked in and focused, and those guys are playing good football.
Coach, how much have you seen your team grow that week loss?
Leaps and bounds. Guys have done a great job of trusting and buying into what we're doing. We've moved some people around. We changed some people, and those guys are playing with confidence. I think people tend to fail to realize sometimes that, we offensively, we came back with 1 starter. And then, we playing with 2 redshirt freshman quarterbacks and a quarterback that's played some. So they're going to always be growing pains. They're going to be growing pains. So, and then that's what I told them. I said, the thing of it is you just got to continue to work and trust it. And if you trust it, it'll work out for you.
Do you
feel any more sense of confidence going into this week than you maybe did in week 3 with your team?
Nope, I've always been a confidence guy. You know, my thing is if you prepare and prepare to win, and you continue to play, and you focus on the little things, the fundamentals and the techniques, those things give you an opportunity to win week in and week out. So I'm not one that, you know, my confidence is high this week, it's not that high this week. It's always even keel. So in terms of confidence, you know, I'm the same all the time when it comes to that.
How much of y'all are embracing this underdog role that y'all kind of been getting?
We don't put a whole lot of emphasis into it. Like it's no different than when we had the SWAC Media Day and we were picked fourth, and then the question was asked, how do I feel about it? I said, you got to pick us somewhere. You know, you got to play the games. At the end of the day, you got to play the game. So, you know, we don't have the Hollywood story of, you know, the underdog and all that. Nah, that's for TV. You know, our thing is, hey, we're gonna prepare, we're gonna go out, and we're gonna play to win.
With Herman being suspended for the first half, who you kind of looking forward to step up into the
Well, we'll probably it'll be JB, Jamarius Brown. So, you know, Horatio's back there, Elijah's back there, Rodney's back there, Zay's back there. So, I mean, it's not a huge, you know, it's not a huge change that we have to make. We made it Saturday when Trey went out. We made the adjustment. So, yeah, Trey's a tremendous football player, but we got some guys on the back end that play, and they play well all year, and they play together. So, you know, it's no different than when Rodney was out. We had somebody plugged in. E. Reed was out. We had somebody to plug in. So that's good that we had the depth back there, and those guys play well together. So, you know, we'll make the necessary adjustments. We did last Saturday. We practiced on it last night, so we'll be fine back there.
Are there advantages either way to having a week off as opposed to playing the week before? Does Jackson State have any real advantage?
You know, the only advantage that you get to rest a little bit. You get to rest a little bit. You get a chance to get out, do a little recruiting, you know, that kind of stuff. But in terms of football, it's not a big deal. You know, you've seen teams in bowl games have a month off and go out there, you know, don't play the way they think they're going to play. So, you know, from the rest standpoint, it helps. But I don't think, you know, sometimes it's best to keep playing when you're playing.
After losing the last SWAC championship game at Jackson State, do you feel like this team is hungrier than ever to finally bring one back to Baton Rouge?
I think they are hungry to finish the goals that we set at the beginning of the season. I don't think it's a point of losing, because a lot of those guys weren't here. You know, we had some guys that were here, but all in all, our guys set goals at the beginning of the season, and this is one of the goals that we're trying to obtain. So I think the hunger is to complete the goals that we set for.
The last 3 times y'all went to Jackson, things kind of got ugly early on. How do you make sure y'all don't fall into that hole while also taking the crowd out of the game?
Now, the way you take the crowd out of the game is you execute. Got to execute. That's what we got to do. We can't fall behind, and that's what we talked about. We got to execute, and we got to score. You know, when we got opportunities to score, we can't give up the big plays on defense. We got to stop them. You know, we got to be solid and sound in the kicking game. They just got to execute. I mean, we played like I told them last night. We played in the Bayou Classic last week. It was over 63,000 people there. You know, we played in big stadiums. We played on the road. We played in hostile environments. So this is nothing new. It's just like television. I told them last week, you know, just because it's on NBC, it's no different. We played on ESPN, ESPN3, you know. So it doesn't matter the network. The game is still the same. I told you, it's 120 yards, 53 and a third. It's football.
How has Jalen Woods stepping in as the starter helped kind of give the offense a level of like consistency and continuity over these past few weeks?
I don't know if it's the fact that he stepped in, giving the offense consistency, or the offense is just getting consistent as a whole. You know, it's not, again, you know, we're talking about each week those guys have improved. We made changes, we moved people around, and those guys have bought in to what we're doing, and they understand what our philosophy is. We're going to do whatever we have to do to win a football game. You know, we don't have that philosophy of this is what we do and this is how we're going to do it and we're not going to change that. Whatever we have to do to win the football game, that's what we're going to do. If we got to line up and run in a wishbone, we're going to run the wishbone. You know, we got to spread them out. You know, we're going to do that. And I'm just being facetious there because we ain't running the wishbone. But whatever we have to do, we're going to do what we need to do to win the game. And our players buy into that. They understand that, they know that, and that's what has helped us to be successful.
With Jalen, are y'all trying to give him a little bit more each week to add a little something to the offense, or can you kind of keep him in the same scheme and playbook?
No, you know, it's the offense is the offense, you know, and it's you know, they have a way of how they're doing things, and so it's basically, you know, Coach Frederick is the type of coach that he's allowing them to trust what they see, and it's just a matter of going out and executing. So it's not, you know, it's not a scaled back version of what we're doing. It's just it's the offense, and now it's a matter of how well can we effectively run the offense, and so I think that helps. You know, sometimes you can get caught up into trying to scale back, and then you kind of stagnate yourself. But if you continue to push it, you know, hey, we gotta press and push what we're doing, and you gotta rep it and rep it and rep it. And we got that from Coach Richardson. Coach Richardson would run a play 1,000,000 times, and you'd be sick of it. But it becomes muscle memory. It becomes all those things. And so now when you get on the field on game day, then it's second nature. So that's pretty much what we're doing.
When you watch their running back, Herb Bunking, what does his style kind of remind you of? Or who?
He's a really good running back. He's a slasher. He's a slasher, but he's athletic enough to get out on the flank. He does a good job catching the ball. He's a good running back. He's a really good running back. So we got to make sure that we're gap sound and where we're supposed to be, and you know, make sure that because what you do with good players, you don't shut them down. You just try to contain those guys. So that's what we got to do. Make sure that we got a lot of people around the football, whomever's running the football or catching the football. That's what we got to do defensively.
Looking back on the film, rambling, special teams, like those are fixable mistakes.
All of them are fixable. Every last one of them. Every last one of them. They're all fixable. And we watch it. We're gonna correct it. We'll correct some stuff today. And so yeah, it wasn't a matter of what we're doing schematically. It was just, you know, execution of it. And then of course when you got some guys that may be younger, or guys that are that dome has a way of kind of changing the way a guy plays that first few minutes of the football game. So you gotta just, you know, you gotta take a deep breath and get ready to go.
Last week I asked you about getting off to a fast start. You said it was kind of like a foreign language to your team, but they did it on Saturday against Graham and got the first quarter touchdown. How important is that for that to translate into the SWAC championship game to kind of set the tone for how everything's going to go?
I just think it's important that we do that, period. You know, and those guys took the challenge. They took the challenge. I challenged the team last week on some things, and those guys stepped up to the challenge. You know, and it's just a credit to them. Those guys are buying into what I'm teaching and what the coaches are teaching, and they like the challenge. We don't make these crazy challenges that you know, all out of the box. You know, it's just simple stuff, and those guys have stepped up to it. And again, the challenges is the same this week. So it's important. Again, it's always important to get off to a great start, and if you get off to a great start, then that helps you as the ball game progresses.
What about Jackson State's defense impresses you the most? What do they do?
Disruptive up front. They're disruptive up front, and they do a good job of stopping the run, and so you gotta pay attention to those things. That they're doing a really good job. They bring the numbers, do a good job of putting numbers in the box, and those guys playing, and they play quite a few guys up front. So that's one thing. If you're gonna play great defense, you got to be able to stop the run, and so they've done a good job of stopping the run and making people one-dimensional, so to speak, and then, you know, then they get after the quarterback. So that's probably the most impressive thing that I see that they do. All right, go Jags.
Now introducing Jalen Woods. Floor is open for questions.
Jalen, going into this is a bigger A lot more at stake this week, even than last week. How do you go about handling that?
Basically, I just want to try and keep the same mindset every week. I've been playing this game since I was 6 years old, so at the end of the day, it's just a game. There's a lot more at stake, obviously, but you still want to be able to remember the key aspects of the game. And so when I'm out there on the field, that's all I'm just going to be thinking about, just doing my job and executing.
Do you feel like you've improved a little each week, in each of these last 3 weeks?
Right, I feel like I have. I mean, from when I first got in, I think it was prayer review to definitely now, I feel like I've my knowledge with the game and how fast it is has definitely improved, and my overall skill set, I feel like I've it's definitely improved since when I first got in the beginning of the season.
How do you make sure this moment doesn't become bigger than what it already is?
Say it again?
How do you make sure like that this moment, like the magnitude of this game, how do you make sure that it doesn't become bigger than what it already is?
I really think it's just, like I said earlier, just remembering at the end of the day, staying confident and true to yourself. I've been playing this game since I was 6 years old. I've been playing the quarterback position since I was 6 years old. So I really think if I stay true to myself, talk to God, and I have if I build the confidence up with my teammates and have everyone behind me, and I'll have their back as well, and we can get this thing done.
The team as a whole played Jackson State earlier in the season, but you didn't play in that game. How do you, what do you see from that team from the first game you guys have played, and also the film that you've studied, and how does that play into you playing them for the first time?
Jackson State's definitely they do a lot of the same things defensive-wise that they did when they played us. And so I think it's our job to, make the adjustments, look at what worked the first game and what didn't work the first game, and look at the advantages and disadvantages, the pros and cons of their defense, and so we can be able to counter that with what we think is going to work best against them.
As a team, just what's the vibe in the locker room like heading into the SWAC championship game, facing a rival? Are you guys just, hungry to get that win? Like, what's the vibe like?
I mean, the vibes are good, but we also want to prove a lot of people wrong. We know that a lot of people are really going back to when we first played Jackson and think we are the same team, but we're not. That was week 3. So now we're facing 10, 12 weeks later, and so I know the rest of the teammates, I feel like we've improved a lot throughout the whole season, so ready to showcase that on Saturday. But it starts right today with practice.
Ask a question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Introducing Vincent Page Jr. The floor is open for questions.
Vincent, do you think y'all are really on a roll defensively and getting better each week, especially coming off that grand game?
Yes, I feel like as a defense, as a unit, we're coming together every day, really, every practice, every rep. So, yeah.
How important is it going to be to make sure you guys stop the run and kind of make them one-dimensional as an offense on Saturday?
That's our mindset every week, try to stop the run and then make teams try to throw the ball because I feel like we have the best secondary in the SWAC. So if we're able to do that, I feel like we have a great chance to win this game.
Are y'all kind of embracing kind of like this underdog role y'all been given?
We're just out there playing another game of football, really. We don't get into letting everything outside of the lines interfere how we feel.
Jackson State was one of the only teams that was able to really kind of move the ball and score points on your defense throughout the season. How do you stop that from happening here in the rematch?
I think we've improved as a unit. We're playing more together instead of like individual pieces. So I feel like that'll be a big factor into it.
Vincent, talk a little bit about playing alongside Kelby and what you've learned from watching him. This is your first year playing with him as a teammate.
He's by far the best defensive end I played with in my entire career. He makes my job a lot easier. He makes our back end job a lot easier. So he's really a great leader, great example to if you want to come in and follow. He's a great guy.
What do you remember about going against their quarterback, Jacoby and Morgan?
I really didn't play the first game, so this will be my first real take at Jackson.
looking at where this team was in week 3 and where you guys are at now, and just what's like the confidence level within the locker room going into this SWAC championship game?
I think our confidence has been the same the whole season, even though like we've lost some games. I feel like we've always stayed together, always looked at the bright side of things, and we're going to keep doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. What was your hand?
Introducing Chandler Whitfield, the floor is open for questions.
Chandler, you're a senior. You take the temperature of the team. What's it like going and starting this week to prepare for the championship game?
Very focused. Very, very, very focused. Very detail focused too. We know what's at stake here. We already know the backstory. We already know we can get into all that. But at the end of the day, we got to go play. And we just got to show people. So it's simple.
There seems to, okay, I'll take it first. There seems to be a very even-keeled kind of vibe with the team, despite all the distractions and all that. How much of that do you attribute to the coach, Coach Graves?
One thing about Coach Graves, he don't really allow us to kind of be uptight. He give us like the will to kind of just be ourselves, kind of, but not too much. It's not out of control. But Coach Graves always harp on like not being so uptight, really, you know. So just going out there, just really playing the game that you love, and it just comes.
How have you seen this offense improve since week 3 to where you guys are at now?
I can say like we just came together as a team. We just got more closer as an offense, really. Just basically wanting more for each other, really, and just playing for that man alongside of you. So once we start developing that mindset, everything started kind of just opening up and kind of, you know, working in our favor.
John, what does it mean to not just play in the championship game, but have a shot against a team that's kind of had y'all number the last few years?
Of course, it's not a good feeling of how things been played out in the past, but I feel like now this is honestly a different team. We have a different mindset. We done been through a lot. We done been through some hard games, some down the wire games. So we battle tested for sure. Like I feel like as a team, like we battle tested. So going into this game, I feel like we just gonna handle it more differently.
How do you make sure that you kind of take the crowd out of the game early and make sure y'all don't fall into one of those?
It ain't even gonna be a crowd. Not even gonna be a factor. One thing on offense, we just gonna have to just bring it to them.
What have you seen from Jalen Woods? 3 games now. He's looked like he's gotten a little bit better. What do you see from the inside?
One thing about Jay Wood, he just prepared well. You know, even when Jay Wood wasn't playing, he still prepared like he was a starter. You know, so I tip my hat out to him. So when it was time for his number to be called, he was ready to step up, and he got better every game. He got more comfortable. He handled the offense well. He made right reads, and just as an offense, and you know us players, we know how Jay Wood did improve each game in the locker room. So it's probably things that y'all don't see, but us, we see the improvement that Jay Wood has been doing week to week since he been started.
What are some lessons that you were able to kind of take from that week 3 game against Jackson and kind of apply it to better yourselves as a team going into this week?
Don't get behind. Don't get behind as an offense. Don't get behind the chains. Don't get behind on downs. We gotta take advantage of our shot plays too. We gotta hit them. So we just gotta bring it to them. We're gonna see Saturday though.
Are you guys embracing the underdog role heading into this game?
It ain't no underdog role. It's just Southern versus Jackson. Winner go home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Kelvin Givens. Kelvin Givens is the All-SWAC Defensive Player of the Year. He leads the nation in tackles for loss with 26.5, and he's number 8 in the nation for sacks with 11 sacks on the season. The floor is open for Kelvin Givens.
Kelby, your reaction to being named the Co-Defensive Player of the Year?
I'm grateful. It's my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Couldn't have done it without him, so I'm just thankful.
surprised that there was only one, you were the only Jaguar on the All-SWAC team?
Yes, I'm very surprised, but I'm not really going to get into it because we got a game on Saturday, so, you know, going to let that frustration show on Saturday.
How important is it going to be for you guys to really contain Jackson State's offense, make them one-dimensional, especially you guys in front?
We're just going to have to do what we do, you know, stop the run. They got a great running back, Herb Mulligan, so, you know, we stop the run. I like our chances.
Talk a little bit about Mulligan and what makes him a good back. What are his features?
He's a really good running back. He keeps his leg moving through contact, and he has a great offensive line, so I'm looking forward to the challenge.
How does your defense around you, your teammates, help you to compete and produce in the way to earn the Good Offensive Player of the Year honors?
Can you say it one more time?
Basically, how did your teammates on defense help you to produce in the way that you did?
Yeah, they just did that 111. You know, sadly they didn't get the honors that I felt like they should have gotten. But the guys made plays, as you saw Saturday. Guys were making plays left and right. Darius Harry, Vincent Page, Herman Brister, Derek Williams. I could keep on naming on and on, but they've been doing that all season. So, you know, they've helped me a lot. They've opened up my game a lot.
Coach, what would getting the championship this Saturday mean to you, especially considering that you were part of the team that was in Jackson the last time?
It'll mean a lot because a lot of people don't think we can do it. A lot of people didn't think, you know, before the season that Coach Gray should have got the job. A lot of people don't think I should have been Defensive Player of the Year. So, you know, it's going to mean a lot, you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to the challenge. I really am. And I like our chances.
What do you remember about the first meeting with Jackson State? You didn't play your best game, especially defensively.
Yeah, we didn't play our best game. They got out on us quick in a hurry, and we weren't ready. So, you know, I feel like we're going to be ready this time, and like I said, I like our chances.
How much has the defense grown from week 3 all the way to now?
Yeah, I mean, that was an early game, so a lot of people, they weren't, you know, they didn't know the defense by then. Like, we had a lot of new guys. So, you know, we got Vincent Page. He didn't play that much that first game. So, you know, I feel like we're going a lot. We're making tackles. We're not, you know, committing stupid penalties like we were back then. So, yeah.
Just as a whole, just as a team, just where's the confidence level at going into this game? Knowing it's not only the SWAC championship game, but a big rivalry, just being hungry to get the win.
Yeah, we're very confident. We've won 4 straight games. So, I mean, we're very confident. If you're not confident going to the championship game, then you shouldn't be there. So we're very confident.
How do you make sure that some of those younger guys, some of those guys who are kind of new to this moment, how do you make sure that they stay level-headed?
I think I really don't have to do much. I think those guys already know. Like, we gotten to this point in the season. We've been to, 3 overtime games? So the guys are pretty level-headed. You know, they know not to get too high or too low because we've been at low parts in the season, and now we're at a high part of the season, and we're looking to stay there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
I'll say this now.